It's like these things that we learned, it's so hard to unlearn, you know. And like I said, the prison system sets you up for those things. That's what they want. What's the deal, beloveds? It's your boy Zay back with another brand new banger for y'all. This is the Life of Zay. Thank you for clicking on that channel. Check it out. Look around if you're new here. See if there's something for you. If there ain't, good riddance to you. But if there is, what I need y'all to do is hit that subscribe button down below. Also turn the bell on so you know when I drop. We're getting ready to do a giveaway here very shortly. And we are currently sitting at 2,034 subscribers and counting. We're going to continue to move up. Anyway, this is Saturday night. This is crazy y'all normal to us because that shit be crazy to y'all, but it's normal life to us on this side, homie. This one tonight's going to be called Institutionalized, what they don't tell you, alright? There's a lot of things that come with it, man. And don't ever let somebody tell you that. I already told you all the time I did. Close to 1 year. I did like 8 months and a couple days. And I did like 6 years in boys' school, okay? Don't ever let somebody tell you that if you did whatever time that you're not institutionalized, because trust me, I mean 6 years is valid. Everybody knows that. A year is valid. But the homies that did like 5 months, you're institutionalized, guys. When you learn something, look, check it out. Humans are creatures of habit. We learn a habit, you know. I read a psychology book one time, and when I was locked up, and it explained why abused people stay in relationships so long. We're creatures of habit. When you develop a habit, whether it's good or bad, it becomes familiar. Familiar equals comfort. Comfort is where you stay, where it's comfortable. People are scared to get out of their comfort zone and feel some type of uncomfortableness, and that in turn will lead to why a lot of girls stay in bad relationships, because they're comfortable, you know. You know, if they would just put it in their head to be uncomfortable, they would get out of the relationship where they're getting beat or whatever the case is, you know what I mean? But that's another story for another day. What I'm saying, though, is humans are creatures of habit. So when you do a same routine, which jail is based on a very, very strict routine, that's the point of a correctional institution, is to correct you, okay? When you go to a correctional institution, their main goal is to show you a routine, day to day. That's the thing that people don't understand. They want you to be institutionalized. That's what they want to do to you, little brother. Understand that. So, even though it's bad for us, you know, that have that shit, PTSD that comes with it or whatever, that's what their main goal is, to have you institutionalized. So, they want you to be institutionalized. That's part of, trying to build new habits for you, you know, trying to build a new way of thinking. That's why jail is so uniform, you know. It's so set on routines and the routine that you follow, like, I mean, down to the time you go to bed, you know. Everything is set up for you to develop this, you know, this sense of pattern that you do to keep you out of trouble. It's a correctional center, you know. That's what it's for. It's there to correct you. So that's institutionalized, you know, and people don't realize that that's really what it's meant to do that. So, you know, like I said, people that did 5 months even in county jail, you know, they're still valid because they still had to go through 5 months of that. And when you're trying to learn something, if you're trying to learn a phone number, okay, let's just say, for instance, you're trying to learn someone's phone number, you'll say it over and over in your head a few times, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You keep repeating that for a while, and it's eventually you're going to remember it, right? So when you do the same routine over and over, whether it's 30 days, 5 months, years, you know what I mean? That doesn't matter. When you do the same routine over and over, you're going to develop that routine, okay? But here's the thing. Here's where it gets a little bit tricky, guys. You're in a unit with 30, 40 guys max, okay? Okay, that's cool. You're going to learn that routine in there. But what happens when you get out in the world and you're surrounded by thousands of people? That's where institutionalized PTSD comes in. And people don't understand that. Like I said, it's uncomfortable for us, and humans are creatures of habit. They tend to hug tight to comfort. You know, comfort makes us be okay, and when you're not comfortable, it's uncomfortable. That's why it's called that. But you will be uncomfortable whenever you're removed from a situation that you were in, and you're not in that situation no more. You know, whenever you're out in the free world, whatever the case may be, you're surrounded by people. And institutionalized, it can it can damage a lot of things, you know. Just from personal experience, I could tell you it can damage relationships. It can damage your social life. It can damage your the way you communicate with people, your communication skills. It can damage that. It can damage your down to the eating, things like that. The way you eat, it can damage that. Shower, every single thing in your day-to-day life, institutionalized, will affect that, and people don't get that. People don't understand that. Like, this is things you're gonna have to you're gonna have to deal with after you get that bid. You know, after you go do your little sentence, you're gonna have to deal with these things for the rest of your life. You know, people say like, oh, and you know, I don't understand. There's been times where people told me where I'm still nervous to go into Walmart, and yeah, it might seem like a little kid thing or something, and people just don't understand it. But you'll sit there and again, I appreciate the veterans. I'm not disrespectful in any manner towards veterans, but how is a veteran valid in feeling this way, but a convict isn't? That's just not right to think that way, because they set you up to do this. They set you up to fail, basically. You know, the prison system is set up to fail. I've met dudes that got out of prison for, they did 10 years and they want to go back. They don't want to be out here. They literally will do a crime just to go back, because that's where they find their comfort. And remember, I was telling y'all, whenever, in order to succeed, you have to let yourself be uncomfortable. You can't have a family. You can't have friends. You can't have a girlfriend. None of that if you stay being comfortable in that situation, because you're always going to be alone. Because guess what? You just spent 5 years alone. You just spent 5 years not having to care or validate another person's feelings. So now that's how you're going to come out and be. That's what you're going to do when you come out. You're not going to care to validate another person's feelings, because you haven't had to. And like I said, we develop a habit. Humans are creatures of habit. Like I said before, you're going to develop that. And that's going to affect like I said, your relationships with people, your social life, everything. Sometimes you just got to grab your nuts and go with it, and that's what I've been doing, because I got tired of living a certain way, I hate going to Walmart, guys. I don't like it. I hate being around people. To this day, there's still things that I deal with that are institutionalized, and I deal with it on a day-to-day basis, and my girl starts to understand them, but at first she didn't understand them. But see, the thing about me is that I find comfort in her. That's where I can find is in my girl. So it might seem like I'm kind of needy, because I always want her to go places with me, but it's just that I find the comfort in her, because that's the only comfort I have in this uncomfortable situation, due to the fact that I'm institutionalized. She might be like, you can't go to Walmart alone real quick, and I have to tell her I can't, I don't want to. And she don't always understand it sometimes, and it might seem like I'm kind of needy or whatever, but the fact is that I'm not needy. It's that I find comfort in her in this uncomfortable situation, because it's uncomfortable for me, to walk around with all these people around. I'm not used to it, and even though it's been like probably close to 10 years since I did any time, it's still that way. There's just some things that you can't let go of, For instance, some of the things that I still do now, I've stopped showering with shoes on, to a certain extent, unless I'm somewheres. But for the first 5 years when I got out, I wouldn't shower with shoes on. I wouldn't eat with the fork, because I'd literally stab my gums when I eat with the fork, because it's kind of funny, but understand something. You got a couple minutes to eat. You got to eat fast. So I came out eating fast, but a spork is round. You're not gonna hit yourself when you're trying to eat fast with a fork. You're gonna stab your lips. Another thing, I would stand up to eat. My grandma would always tell me, sit down and eat, get a fork, like, you're okay, mijo. And I couldn't register that. I couldn't fathom that, because of the fact that I just did time, and I had to stand up to eat. And I developed that every day, And when you're standing, I already explained this in the other video, but when you're standing up to eat, it's because you're watching out for someone that's going to jump. So even though you're surrounded with family and it's a good vibe and none of that's going on, it's still in your mind. It's still drummed in your mind that that's going to go on. So, I mean, it might seem crazy to some of y'all, but it's really fact. That's really the way it is, So the eating, standing up, the forks. To this day, I can't use glass. I don't like it on my teeth, because I got so used to using plastic cups. You know what I mean? So, my girl can attest to it that I won't use glass nowheres. any restaurant that we're at, we're always going to be facing a wall with my back to the wall because I don't want my back to people. That's another thing that I suffer with. The whole thing with the store. I don't like being around people. When people start getting around me, I start getting to where I want to like fight, you know, and my girl always like, why are you so aggressive? Why you know, just calm down. You're good. Like nothing's going on. But the thing is that whenever people surround in where I was at, it's going to be something bad, you know, and it's either kill or be killed at that point. So I'm always on it. Like I don't want to be surrounded. That's why I don't like going to the stores, you know. Even if people stand close to us, I don't like it. One of the other things is that I can't walk around my house with my shoes off, you know, and it looks comfortable, you know, to walk on carpet, but I can't do it. I've tried and I can't do it. I'm just so used to that and the results that come with it, you know, MRSA or staph infection, all the shit that comes with it. It's just stuck in my head, you know, and I can't do that. It's like these things that we learned. It's so hard to unlearn, you know, and like I said, the prison system sets you up for those things. That's what they want. That's their main goal, is to show you this way of thinking. So a lot of people, you know, I know there's veterans. Again, I'm not disrespecting the veterans. I know that the veterans kill themselves, but it's unfair that nobody talks about the prisoners that are killing themselves because of the PTSD, because of the institutionalized, all that stuff. You know, prisoners are also killing themselves, guys. They also feel like they can't survive and be normal and function normal in society because of the way that this prison system is set up and it's so segregated. You know, there's been a time, guys, where I was locked down for 6 months and they called it Loma. It was the SHU, you know. It was locked down. I was in the SHU for 6 months. I didn't come out. I didn't get calls, none of that, because I wouldn't stop fighting. And I know that that's on me. You know, I know that that's caused by me. I did that to myself. But in my defense, guys, whenever you're in a place like that, you have to survive any way you can. And you know, I'm not I'm not trying to justify anything, but Roswell guys have it hard in boys' school. You know, we have it hard because Roswell's little, and they always want to test because they always want to test us because, oh, Roswell's crazy, y'all crazy, or what shows are crazy, you know, and it's kind of dumb, but we're always having to, you know, to throw them. We're always having to bang. So I had to survive where I was at. Well, in turn for me making those choices to survive instead of being a punk and rolling it up. You know, when I first walked into boys' school, I told myself and I told my mom, I'm gonna leave here the same person I'm coming in here as. I'm not gonna roll it up. You know, I ain't gonna be nobody's punk. I'm not gonna let somebody. You know, I'm not gonna get f***ed off basically by someone and just let it happen. I'm not gonna do that. You know, so when I decided to do that, I had to act accordingly, you know, to what was going on, and that's what it was, you know, and unfortunately that caused me to be locked down a lot of the times and not have anybody to talk to. There was a point in that 6-month stint where I started talking to my hands because it was like so bad that I was alone. I just wanted to see somebody. I wouldn't see nobody. The guards wouldn't come through there. They would slide the tray under the door, you know, once a day. They would feed you breakfast and lunch at the same time. They'd give you breakfast and lunch. They wouldn't come until 6 o'clock. And at 6 o'clock, you know, they would just come, throw the dinner in and leave. They wouldn't take count. They wouldn't talk to us, nothing like that. They wouldn't play music. You know, it's real dark in there. And I don't know why it's set up like that, but they passed the law to where kids cannot be in segregation no more because a kid's mind isn't even fully developed. And for him to have to go through that psychologically, it really messes some things up. You know, it messes some things up. And all these things that take place, guys, it's not. That's why people reoffend. That's why there's like a 80% reoffend rate for children in the U.S. because they put them through these things. You know, these institutions are set for men. You know, like I said in the other video, guys, I've been to adult and I've been to juvenile, and I'm telling you right now, the juvenile is 100 times harder than the adult one. Every aspect of it, whether it's the fights, the violence, the program that they have, everything is 100 times harder than adult prison, and that doesn't sit right. Like, something's going on here that kids have it harder than adults, and they're both criminals. And the biggest thing in all this, guys, is that a child's mind is not even fully developed at that age. A mind don't stop fully developing when you're 21. That's when it stops developing, and you're at a point in life where you have a fully developed mind. That's why the age is 21 for everything, because you can make a conscientious decision for things. And I mean, Google it. If you don't believe me, Google it. That's why age 21 is set for a lot of things, because you can make a conscience decision at 21. That's what science or whatever, that's what statistic, all that shit says. So until you're 21, your mind's not even, your brain's not even fully functional as a child. Could you imagine being a child having to go through that? It's been proven that that affects adults in bad ways. Could you imagine being a child having to go through that? It's horrible, guys. And I had to go through that, you know, and that's why I was talking to my hands. I would think that I would see people, and it was crazy. I started seeing shit that, you know, I'm not schizophrenic or nothing like that, but I started thinking that people were there, and that's just, it's like that, guys. Like, it's crazy, and they leave you in there like that. And that's one of the big things that causes institutionalized in you know, young teens, guys. I can't be in any closed space. I can't do it, because I remember that segregation. I remember that 6-month stint when I was locked in there. Those walls were closing in after a week, you know. And it makes me nervous even talking about it right now. But those are things that I have to deal with. Those are things I suffer with. And there's really no cure for that, guys. That's something that's going to be with you. Like, you know, I wrote in my portfolio that I did for parole from boys' school that that boys' school left dents on my life that will forever be there. And it did. You know, I'll never be able to forget the things that I seen, you know. You really have to be an animal in there, guys. There's no way around it. Ain't nobody nice in there. Ain't nobody looking out for your best interests, you know. The guards are getting you beat up. It's crazy. It's really crazy. And the institutionalized that I got from being in boys' school and from adult prison, boys' school is so much worse, guys. That's where everything, I developed everything. The claustrophobia, the not being able to connect with people just because I've been along floating for so long myself, you know, like, there's so many things, and like I said, it'll affect your day-to-day life, it'll affect your relationships with people, it'll affect your social life, everything, guys. You won't want to go out after you do that, you know, after you get out of prison or whatever. You won't want to be around anybody, and that's the things I've been suffering with, you know. I'm trying to deal with them the best I can, but it's not always easy, guys, because, you know, these things are stuff that are drummed into your head to learn, you know, and it's just like that, you know. I know people right now that are 60 years old and they still follow same routines from prison, you know, when they went to prison when they were 20 years old. That's, what's that, like 40, 30 years, and they still hold to those things that they did in prison, because that's really being institutionalized. You can't get away from it. And, you know, it is what it is, but I hope one day that changes in the prison system, because I get it for grown men, I understand it, but for kids, it really messes them up, guys, and it's affected several things in my life, you know. It's affected so many things. Like, I still get so mad at my son when it's dark in the house. Like, last night, it was dark. I was going to get my baby's bottle, and I didn't know my teenager was asleep in the den. I didn't know that. So it was pitch black, and he came walking up fast, like, to go to the kitchen when I was coming out of it. And he got real close to me, and I jumped back like, yo. And he's like, it's me, Dad, it's me. And I got pissed off, you know, I got mad at him. I was like, you need to start saying something. I'm going to end up hurting you one of these days, because I don't know who that is, you know. And he has a problem with doing that, but, you know, it's not his fault. It's his house, you know, he's doing regular stuff. But the thing is that for so long, I had to watch out everything around me, you know, and I'm real jumpy about that. And, you know, I don't want to punch him or something one of these days, but he creeps around sometimes, just, you know, he's just a kid. And that's something that I deal with. That's one of the problems that I deal with in my day-to-day life, in my family life, that affects me, because, you know, 3 minutes after that, I'll be in the room sad because it wasn't my son's fault I went to prison. It wasn't my son's fault that he was trying to get something to drink, you know what I mean? It wasn't my son's fault that he has a dad that was locked up or whatever that's like this. But it's things that we deal with, you know, and he gets it. I explain it to him and tell him, you know, I try to guide him, tell him why he don't want that life and why I'm like this, and he understands it. But it still hurts my feelings that I got to get mad at him. But it's not that I want to get mad at him. Don't think that, you know, I just want to get mad. It's not that, guys. It's just that the way that things have always been for me in my life with jail and stuff, and not even with jail, just being, you know, living in places that were not good, it made me like that, you know. I always got to be on high alert. Like, sometimes my girl will scare me, and it's not just like a scare. Like, she'll scare me purposely, and I'll get mad at her because it's so much to me. Like before, if someone runs up on you like that, they stick you, and then you're laying there dying. And I know that's not gonna happen in my house, but it's not that. It's just the trigger in my mind that's set from the institutionalized that I already have, and that's what I'm telling you. That's what it'll affect in your day-to-day life. But yeah, man, I just want to jump on here real quick and share that. I know some people out there, probably a lot of people deal with the same thing. Just pray about it, man. Keep God at your center and keep asking God to take that from you. And you gotta remind yourself one of the things that Star has always done for me constantly, and to this day she doesn't have to do it as much, but she still does it. One of the main things that made me realize is, whenever when my girl tells me things, I listen, but when she tells me things like almost like scolding me, real stern, it really, really takes effect on me, and I know that that's something serious I need to listen to. And one of the things that she's always told me is, "You're not in prison no more. You're not in prison no more. You're not in prison no more." So I've always remembered that. Now I start telling myself that when I feel like that, like, "You're not in prison no more. Let that shit go." And that's what she's always telling me. She's always tried to lead me to that, no, like, "You're not in prison no more. You're not in the streets no more. You don't have to be angry like that. You're not like that no more. You're in your home. You're with your family. You're with your kids. You're with your woman. You don't have to do that no more." And especially not here, because like I said, guys, for a long time I was always, a gorilla. You got to be hard 24/7 even with your family. You don't have to. And I didn't know that. She had to show me that. She had to give me like a nurture touch to make me feel like it's okay. And now I'm to a good spot, guys, where I know it's okay, and now I can tell myself that. What she told me, her words, "You're not in prison no more." So, like, I'm always telling y'all, guys, a strong woman is a necessity. It's everything that you can ask for. If you're a street dude, and it sucks because 9 out of 10 times we're gonna take the girls that mean so much and do so much for us. We're gonna take them through hell, and I took her through hell, guys, and I'm sorry for it. I'm trying to spend my life to make it up because I did a lot of stupid shit when we first got together, but I was trying to grow up. I was trying to be a man. She pushed me into the driver's seat to be a man, and I was trying to do that when I didn't know how. But she has me to a point where I think that I'm doing really good, and I'm gonna continue to push to do good. And like I said, man, that's all it is a strong woman that can get you through all this. Because honestly, my girl's the one that's helping me through all this. Because without her, and like I always say, when I wasn't without her, I was living the same way. My house was like a prison cell, and it still is. Another thing that I deal with the institutionalized shit is I don't like dressers. We've been together 6 years. We got a dresser maybe a year ago, barely. We've always had these little cubbies, the plastic ones. My kids still have those because that's something that I deal with. I don't like dressers. I don't like too much stuff. I like it real basic, and that's part of the institutionalized thing. So she's getting me out of that, and I really appreciate it. So if you're dealing with that, man, talk to your girl about it. If you have a girl that you feel that confident with and stuff, talk to your girl about it. Make it a family thing to get you through that, and I promise you can get through it just like I am. Just keep pushing, keep praying to God to take you out of that. And just remember, if your girl don't tell you that, tell yourself that you're not in prison no more. You're not in the streets no more. And I promise with you hearing that every day, it's going to start to make a trickle effect to let you break off some of these things that you have from this institutionalized stuff. And it'll start breaking away. And pretty soon, before you know it, you'll be a regular person, Not too long ago, I went and ate dinner alone. Or not dinner, I went and ate lunch alone in a building the first time in my life, and I felt okay doing it. It's just that, like I said, my family's getting me through that, and that's what you need to do too. I know a lot of people won't talk to their family about that. That's something I was doing too. I wouldn't talk to no one. I try to deal with it all on my own, and you can't do it on your own. Especially not if you're taking care of kids and a woman. There's no way. If you're in a household, there's no way. That girl end up leaving because you're going to be crazy all the time, and you got to talk to them and let them know what's going on. And, yeah, like the most important thing though is just keep prayer, guys. Just keep praying, keep pushing forward, and know that you can do it and that you're not in prison. You're waking up in a home next to your beautiful woman and your kids, and just keep that in mind and keep pushing. But anyway, this is crazy, y'all. Normal to us, 'cause that should be crazy, y'all, but it's normal life to us over here. So, what's today? Saturday. Tomorrow's an off day for me. Just a family day. We're gonna chill after church and stuff like that. We'll jump back on Monday live stream. I might do a pickup Monday. I'm not too sure yet. But we're gonna have a lot of things coming up, so y'all stay tuned for that. Giveaways coming. I gotta work some stuff out. I'm gonna get it worked out though. We're gonna get it done. But anyway, y'all have a good night. I hope y'all are enjoying y'all's family, keeping God at your center, keep your family close, keep praying, and happy holidays to everybody. I'm Zay, and I'm gonna catch you on the next one. I'm out.